Ready for some more Metroid Prime 2 echoes? We are getting that much closer to the release of Metroid Prime 4. And I'm still so freaking excited, guys. Let me back up, get my Wiimote to work. Thank God we're not streaming with this. Metroid Prime 3, how's that gonna work? I gotta like move the location of this sensor so that I don't have to do this every time. Oh my goodness. There it is. There it is. Now we go to GameCube. So yeah, give me some updates. How you guys doing tonight? Not going to be a terribly long stream tonight because I know we got a work day for people tomorrow. I'm thinking about combining both of the streams to maybe Thursday nights. That way people can stay up later and it won't be that big of a deal. But on like, Sunday nights, I know it's kind of tough with everybody working the next day. And guess what, chat? It happened yet again. The Elgato craps out on me because I don't know what progressive mode means, but it does it every time. Nerdy Neo says, I just streamed Prime 3 and Other M. Hell yeah. I had to sit about a foot farther back from my monitor than I usually do. Wasn't too bad. Yeah, I'll have to like to adjust the audio settings and everything. All right, let me fix the Elgato. That wasn't too bad. There it is. All right. So, yeah, thanks for that input, Nerdy Dio. Probably going to do the same thing. King Nintendo says, I saw your video on the Zelda movie. I hope it's at a middle ground where it's not too dark, but not like the Mario movie where it's kiddie. Yeah, I agree. I feel like if you're going to make it live action, you can't make it like too kiddie. I don't know. Like it could, of course it could be a like magical a little bit, but like I expect a more serious tone if you're going to make it live action. And if you're going to film in New Zealand, you know, the comparisons to Lord of the Rings are just inevitable. So, you know, grand scale, serious tone, I would hope for that. ID Muster. How do you fellow Omega Pirate Power Bombers do? Yeah, good to see you, man. Glad you're here. Rise says, yo, let's go. How you doing, Rise? Appreciate you coming in. Hanging out. Zeltroid movie will... Or, sorry, I misread that. Metroid movie will be amazing. Like, yeah, Zelda Metroid movie mix up. No, a Metroid movie would be awesome. But we just need to sell more units. We need this genre, not just genre, but this game series to be more popular before we can really justify that. Yeah, we're the hard one. Still in the Agon Waste. Sydney Sweeney for Samus. Yeah, I could get behind it. I think she'd work. I don't know, though. Would she be okay wearing a suit most of the time? Usually when you get, like, big name actors, you know, like Pedro Pascal and the Mandalorian and stuff, they tend to get a little bit pissy if they don't get to show their face that much. So whoever does it needs to understand. You'll have some Zero Suit Samus moments, but most of the time you're not going to be seen. And are you going to be okay with that? You need to be okay with that. Full Metal Mikey says no. Well, nobody asked you, Mikey. How you doing, Mikey? Mikey, who would you suggest? It can't be someone too old, you know? She's got to be young. She's got to be attractive. She can't say much. Well, it would be a no talking role, so it'd be perfect for her. Yeah, see, Alasia gets it. All right, I'm not sure where we're going now. Voice actors for the win. But I also think like a Metroid game would be much more difficult to make than even a Zelda game, because Link can be stoic and quiet in a Zelda game, and he's got so many different side characters to pick up the dialogue and handle a lot of the exposition. But with Samus, not only does she not say much, generally speaking, then you have Metroid Other M, but not only does she not say much, but on top of that, she's usually in isolation, like in an alien planet all by herself. So, yeah. Isn't Samus very tall? Yes, Samus is very tall. So, you know, that might have to factor that in with an actress as well. If you want it to be really accurate, I mean, you could do like the Tom Cruise thing and just like craftily angle everything to where, like, you know, you have a short guy and make him look tall. You could do that with Samus as well. Okay, I'm pretty sure it was some... Okay, I already scanned this. If they would have done this movie a long time ago, I would have suggested Maggie Grace, but I think she's too old for the role. Yeah, who else was it? What's her name? Oh, John Krasinski's wife. She was in Edge of Tomorrow. I could have seen that. What's her name? Help me out, chat. I'm forgetting her name right now. But when she was younger, now she's too old, but when she was younger, that would have worked for me. Let's go this way. There might be maybe one of these. Emily Blunt. That's her name. Thank you. Emily Blunt. Link's never had a well-defined personality, but I've seen a lot of people convince themselves that he's supposed to be calm and stoic, so any depiction where he's something else makes some mad. I don't know about, like, well... Is Link calm and stoic? I mean, in certain depictions, he's calm and stoic. Other times, he's much more animated and excitable. He just never really talks all that much. So I think it depends on the depiction of Link. I wish I could play as Link. Whoever got that role got me jelly. Yeah, for sure, dude. That guy has a special mantle to carry. And what an exciting thing for him. I hope he truly cherishes it. Yeah, depends on the game, says Daniel. Yeah, for sure. They'd have to introduce her touching base with the people she works for, space stations, etc. I feel like it completely changed the dynamic of the story. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. They have to talk a little bit. Otherwise, it's just gonna... Like, it wouldn't even make sense. And as far as, you know, Link goes, it's actually written into his canon why he is more quiet, at least from Breath of the Wild. But with Samus, that doesn't necessarily have to be the case. That's not really a part of her character. She talks plenty, you know, in Other M. She talks plenty in the manga. So, yeah, we've been here. Okay. Johnny, where's your milk? Right here, Alan. I got it. Hyrule Warriors referenced him getting cocky and overconfident after he got the Master Sword. Some people back on Miiverse back then were really grouchy about it. Yeah, no, I wouldn't be grouchy about it. I think it just depends on the depiction. Because, I mean, with Link after Link after Link after all these generations, I wouldn't just assume every Link is the exact same, personally. Maybe their personalities vary from character to character, you know? Alice says, let's go, I'm drinking milk too. Wind Waker Link is a sociopath. Man's beef knows no bounds and is willing to force the gods into recognizing him as the guy. Yeah, absolute Chad, that one. Alright, let's get this missile expansion. Yeah, someone mentioned the height thing, then I suggested Sydney, but that should be easy to fake with Hollywood magic. The only thing about Sydney is, like, she's so well known and such a big thing right now that I'm not sure, like, I necessarily want that. I guess it would be good from the sense that it would certainly get people to pay attention. You know, a lot of people who never like gave a lick about Metroid or never gave it the light of day. So in one sense, you could argue that something like that is maybe what the series actually needs. Metroid Prime, X Ganon Main says, X Ganon Main? Why are you an X Ganon Main? Ganon's awesome. Prime 2 and 3 remasters when? I think sometime after the release of Prime 4, unfortunately. Yeah. It would be awesome if we got it fairly soon, though. It'd be so awesome. The only thing that'd suck about that is these live streams that I'm playing through right now. I'd have to, like, stop them and start over. Ooh, I might die here. I might die here. Ugh. All right, turn around. I gotta actually, like, pay attention now. Dang. Making it tough on me on hard. Tom says, have you played Legend ZA yet? No, not yet. Probably won't play it for a while. To be honest, I've watched people play it and enjoying watching people play it, but I haven't played it myself. I still love Ganon. I mained Ganondorf for a while until I mained Olimar. Wow, that's a big change. I'd be happy if they casted an unknown actress as Full Metal Mikey. Yeah, I agree with that. But again, I think anything with Metroid right now needs attention. Light of Aether. Let's go ahead and read this. The main energy controller was built in the Great Temple. 3 sub-controllers were built in the temples of Torvus, Agon, and Sanctuary. They collected the energy of Aether, then radiated it over the world to all who needed it. In time, we came to call this precious energy the Light of Aether. It brought an age of peace and prosperity to the Luminoth. Can we get Mikey cast as Kirby in the Subspace Emissary movie? I'm sure he'd love that. Thank you to everybody who's hanging out here tonight. Cam Man's in here. Says, yo, Johnny and Chow. Yo, Cam Man, how you doing, man? How's life treating you? If you look at the various mangas, the characterization of the various links is all over the place, says Scutless. Yes, this is true, too. Yeah. But again, I don't know if I necessarily have a problem with that. Okay, now I gotta do stuff over here. I don't understand how people enjoy the current state of Pokemon these days. All the new games look just awful. Yeah, I mean, you're hearing a lot of that too. I think the thing for me, for ZA especially, like, I don't need the best looking graphics necessarily. But where am I supposed to go here? I actually don't know. Was there an elevator I missed? The thing for ZA that kind of bothers me is just how everything's in the city, and that's like the one aesthetic to it that I feel like the gameplay would get stale for me. Like, even think about like these Metroid Prime games. I know it's like a totally different game, but just like I enjoy visiting different atmospheres and mixing it up. There was even times during Metroid Prime 2 Echoes where I got a little bit tired of the Dark World, you know? And that's not even like where you're at all the time. But with ZA, it's just that city aesthetic all the time. I don't know. I feel like I haven't actually gone through the game myself yet, but I feel like that'd grow wearisome to me. Ooh, I thought I had a double jump. I don't have double jump yet. Tom says, I think RCS is better. Not having a writable Pokemon or crafting Poke-heavy feather balls makes it less fun game. I've been playing Pokemon for 25 years. Love the series always well. Yeah, it's flawed, but it's my favorite franchise. I screwed that up. Dang it. I was reading the chat, and I thought I was still safe. Let me do that again. My God, Johnny. Okay, I need to look at chat a little bit less. I'm just, like, falling off everything. Alright, get where you're going first. Goodness. Yeah, but the Pokemon thing seems very split. And it's so easy for them to just make money making Pokemon games right now that, you know, it's like hard to fail. But yeah, there's tons of room to grow. I just wonder, like, with Pokemon fans, like, because I was talking to my wife about this, how much does it have to do with, like, there's so many Pokemon at this point. So how much of that budget goes to like designing all those different characters basically and all those different animations and that sort of thing? Like, is it truly that they're just being lazy, or is each new Pokemon game just really, really hard to make for that type of reason? I feel like that's part of the challenge that almost nobody ever acknowledges, from what I can tell. But I'm not as immersed in it as you guys are. I mean, I'm like kind of into Pokemon. My wife is a new Pokemon fan who's really fallen in love with Pokemon, but I'm not like this huge Pokemon fan by any means. So you guys could probably answer that better than I could. I don't like the wild zones. The city is empty. You can't enter like 95% of the buildings. Oh. The samey visuals of the Lumois is a fair criticism, but a bigger issue is how the wild areas are so obnoxiously small and the environments weren't built for these real-time battles. Mm. Yeah, I feel that. But well, I don't know. If some people enjoy it, more power to them. That's all. That's, you know. It seems like some people are really like enjoying it, while a lot of people are just like, yeah, it's not for me. It feels lazy and that sort of thing. And whichever one you are, more power to you. I do hope the quality for Pokemon steps up, because it seems like even people who are enjoying the games are pretty united in the fact that, yeah, I wish they were better. They're mostly recycled animations. Famously, they tried to insist the Pokemon in Sword and Shield had new high-quality animations. People ripped the models and determines it was still the 3DS models. At least on Game Boy, you could enter every house in the game, except in, like... Well, yeah, see, that's the thing. Sometimes, I don't know, the push to make everything bigger, grander, open world, in a way, like... I know it's, like... to really open up the game and feel limitless, but in a weird way it does limit things, because now you can't interact with things as intimately now. You know, you can't go in every building, and, you know, not everything has as much personality. I've certainly felt that way with Zelda games as they've gone open world. Like, there's a lot more just generic towns, there's a lot more just generic atmospheres, because there's a whole lot of copy and pasting for the sake of making everything grand, you know, making everything huge, you know, just a big old map. Don't even get me started on the depths and Tears of the Kingdom. I will say that about, you know, the Dark World for Metroid Prime 2 Echoes. Like, yeah, the atmosphere is pretty samey throughout this game, but I never just felt like there was a whole lot of, like, copy and pasting going on like I did with the depths, you know? Same bosses, same looking trees, same looking bunch of stuff. Pokemon Emerald and Black are my favorites. Yeah, everybody says Emerald. I think that's the correct answer, but I just like Ruby because of Groudon, and that's what I played. But isn't Emerald basically like... Do you get just Rayquaza, or Rayquaza, and Emerald, or do you get Kyogre and Groudon, like the option to get them as well? I'm not sure if I ever understood that, because I never went through Emerald. I just went through Ruby. Honestly, Pokemon peaked in Gen 5, says Daniel. I love how much Pokemon talk there is going on, because it's a ways off, but my wife at some point, when our daughter isn't so difficult, she wants to... when our new baby isn't being so new baby-ish, she wants to start her Pokemon channel. But it's a ways off. We are so busy right now. All three in Emerald. Okay, so that makes sense. Emerald just is objectively the best then. out of Emerald, Sapphire, and Ruby. Playing Pokemon's new competitor, Pal World, has been an experience. A more indie dev really feels like it's done so much better. Interesting. Like, I know it's like seen as a rival, but as far as like game quality, I haven't like actually heard like how does like the funness of the game and like the graphics and the playability and all that, how does it truly stack up? I haven't heard much about that. I've said this before. If Nintendo wants to make an absolute killing with a Pokemon game, make a Pokemon Animal Crossing mashup where you can have, like, the villagers are, like, variants of the Pokemon themselves. Oh my gosh. I think, like, every woman in Japan would buy that game. And most women in America. They'd be all over that game. It makes so much money. I'd die and go to heaven, says Alicia. Yeah, I know you would. I know you would. Wayfair, what's up? Says, hail Johnny in chat. Jane and Krista are about to play Mario. Was about to play Mario Kart earlier. Alas, collect connection problems. Oh, was their internet just not working all together? That sucks. Sorry about that. They're already doing that game, Johnny. It was announced last Direct. Yeah, no, they didn't. That's not the... yeah, Alicia's jumping in. That Ditto game looks awful, she says. No, that's not a true Animal Crossing game. If anything, that looked, to me, at least graphically and how square and blocky everything looked, it looked more reminiscent of, like, Minecraft. I'm talking about the team that makes Animal Crossing. Let them handle Pokemon. That's what I'm talking about. Y'all are going to make my wife angry saying it's the same thing. It's not the same thing. All right. I want other Mario sluggers. Yes, considering that Ohtani is the face of baseball around the world, I think it'd be a good moment. Yeah, wasn't that funny when I was streaming the other night, guys? I was like, I need to go watch the Ohtani game. Turns out he has the greatest playoff game in baseball history. That's literally what everybody's saying. 3 home runs, completely shuts down the other team. But yeah, Ohtani is absolutely beloved. Shohei Ohtani in Japan. He's turned all of Japan basically into Dodgers fans, which is incredible. So yeah, if they came out with a new baseball game with as popular as baseball is getting in Japan right now, I mean, I agree. That seems like the perfect time to do it. Pokemon and Zelda crossover? I'd have to think about that one. Sounds fun. I don't know if it works as seamlessly, but it sounds fun. Tom says, I don't watch baseball, but I saw those highlights. He is going to be the GOAT. Yeah, for sure. Because it's just unheard of. Like, if you watch, like, football, you know, imagine, like, Tom Brady on one end being an amazing quarterback, and then on the other end, he's also, like, one of the best linebackers in the game. It's like, what? That's Shohei Ohtani. He's shutting down the other team while smacking 3 home runs in a game to get him to the World Series. It's unbelievable. I'm not like a huge baseball fan, but I'm a big sports fan. And when there's someone special in sports that is like a once in a lifetime type athlete, I will watch. I will watch for that. Like when Tiger Woods was killing it in golf, I watched golf. Now I don't, but then I watched all the time. Now with Shohei, I will watch for Shohei. Jordan being the scoring champ and the defensive player of the year, it's kind of like that, but it's even more impressive because it's like basketball and baseball, basketball, every player plays defense and offense. But in baseball, not every player, very, very, very few players pitch and hit. And, you know, the only other player who's ever been elite at both was Babe Ruth, like a bazillion years ago. And even then, Babe Ruth did it for a very short period of time. So Shohei is genuinely, like, hard to believe. Because it's one thing to be so good at something that you're the best in the world at it, or one of the best in the world. But trying to be the best in the world at 2 totally different things, that's what he's doing right now. 2 totally different things. So, anyway. But I don't want to do sports talk too much playing a Metroid game. I know there's a lot of people here who don't give a darn about sports ball, and I feel like sometimes I bleed it over too much. But yeah, to get back to the original point, Japan, what are you doing? New Mario Sluggers game. Let's go. Johnny, do you think Prime 4 could be hurt by people looking for reasons to be mad about Nintendo? Possibly. I think what's really hurting Prime 4 right now, to be honest, the biggest thing that's hurting Prime 4 is the fact that it's not visually stunning. And Metroid Prime 1, 2, and 3 were, at the time, visually stunning for their, for their consoles. And I think the real reason it's not visually stunning is because the truth is most of the game was developed for the Switch, and now it's coming out on the Switch 2. And so people are expecting Switch 2 graphics for a game that was made for the Switch. So, in that sense, it kind of had the deck stacked against them, What do you think of the bike on Prime 4? Do you think it means open world, and how's that gonna be? I made a video on it recently. It's one of the most recent Metroid videos I made, but they pretty much confirmed on the Metroid Prime 4 website. They have a website dedicated to Prime 4, but it's a Japanese website. People have translated it, and they've pretty much confirmed it's not going to be open world. They explained a little bit about how the bike works. It sounds like it's just going to be a hub area, almost like, think of like Hyrule Field and Ocarina of Time. So you can't go anywhere you want, wherever you want, because there are going to be certain areas that are like blocked off, certain doors, red doors, missile door. You don't have the missile, you can't go there. But it'll at the very least be a big open area, but they've also specified that you will not be able to use the bike in like many areas of the game. The bike has very specific locations where it'll work. And it also looks like they force you to get off the bike whenever you go indoors. So you can't do like the Halo 2 thing where you get like a Covenant Ghost and you just force it into like indoors and go all kinds of different places. Like, you can't do that. ID Monster says, I think the Switch 1 graphics will be fine as long as they make it run immaculately on Switch 2. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, it looks good enough. I think the most important thing is just how fun the gameplay is. But unfortunately, like, Metroid is it's just really niche, and I think it's going to stay really niche for a while. Like, expect like 3 to 4 million units sold, anywhere from, I would say for Metroid Prime 4, you should expect anywhere from 2.5 to 4 million units sold tops over the lifetime of it being on the Switch 2. I think that's a fair expectation. Metroid Dread sold 3 million, and people were happy about that because that was like relatively good for a Metroid game. But when you consider the fact that like Breath of the Wild sold like 40 million units, it kind of puts in perspective like how niche Metroid really is. A big part of that too is Japan doesn't really care for Metroid that much. It's sad but true, because Japan in general doesn't really care that much for the sci-fi genre. They're much more anime and manga fans, and they really like fantasy. They really like fantasy a lot. But sci-fi is not really their jam. Even Shigeru Miyamoto admitted that he was not a very big Metroid fan, So, and it's already showed up in the pre-order sales. Like, after the first couple days of pre-orders opening for Prime 4, it got up to like 2 on Amazon for pre-orders in gaming. It was like on a day-by-day basis. It got up to like number 2. But in Japan, it was like something crazy like 90th. 90. Ranked 90 in gaming for sales. And it was like ranked 2 in America. Like, Japan they just can't get behind sci-fi, which to me is weird. I love the genre. I don't get it. If they push Prime 4 as their Christmas title, then it could do decent. But that's the thing. Because it's so niche, I don't think they have the confidence to do that. We'll see. There could be this big marketing push coming for it soon, but I feel like if they were going to do that, they would have done it by now. Personally. Okay, so I can head back now. And I can space jump now. Sci-fi over fantasy, says Nerdy Neo. For me, I love them both. I also loved Halo for that reason, because it was like the perfect blend between sci-fi and fantasy for me. Like Halo perfected that. But I'll take either one as long as it's a good story. Obviously, I like Zelda. Obviously, I like Metroid. Love Lord of the Rings. Favorite films of all time. So I can't say I prefer one over the other, because, like, you know, there are definitely some sci-fi things that I prefer over fantasy, and some fantasy things I prefer over sci-fi. It just depends. Do you think the lack of marketing is why the sales numbers are lower in America compared to other games? I think it's a part of it. I've talked about the fact that, and you might even agree with this, but I think that Metroid games they're not like I'm trying to think of the word, but like, they're not as generally appealing. It's not like a sexy game, like say like Call of Duty or a high, fast-paced, like high-action shooter. It's like an explorative shooter that really takes its time, and the buttons and the mechanics and everything are a lot more simple. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that, generally speaking, the game is a lot more basic in a way, which I don't think is a bad thing. I think it's a nice thing. I love the pacing of the Metroid Prime games. Not only that, but Metroid games are kind of a slow burn because Samus has her, quote, physical amnesia, where she loses all of her abilities and then has to, like, gain them back. I remember my youngest brother telling me, like, he had a hard time kind of getting into Metroid Prime initially because, like, there just wasn't much to it, you know? He warmed up to it over time, but I just think that, you know, it's a hard sell. You almost have to, like, experience it for yourself. You got to be, like, eased into it. I don't think people see trailers and they're just like, I want to experience that, you know? Because, like, even for myself, like, ooh, man, they're hitting me hard. Even for myself, like, my dad owned Metroid on the NES, so I enjoyed it. When new Metroid games came out, I played them because I had positive memories playing, you know, the NES Metroid. And I just don't think many people see it and are just like, yeah, I need to play that. Plus, there's no multiplayer. So there's none of that, you know, gateway drug either, where it's like your friends are playing it, they're all telling you to play it, you want to play against your friends. You know, because Halo had that, you know. I definitely enjoyed the campaigns of the Halo games more, but a big seller for a lot of different people was the multiplayer. And most Metroid games don't have multiplayer. Sarah Connor says, hello, Johnny. I like the end of your members-only live chat earlier. The end was super funny. Yeah. That was funny. Kind of embarrassing, but also funny. Prime 2 has multiplayer. Yes. No online multiplayer, and they didn't stick with it, but... And although I liked the Prime 2 multiplayer, I don't think there was enough for it to have, like, a long-lasting impact. Like, I think it would wear off pretty quickly, because most of Samus's abilities are perfect for, like, an explorative one-player game. So although it was fun, I don't know if it, like, even with online play, I don't know if it'd be, like, this huge thing that everybody's clamoring to play together, you know what I'm saying? Prime Remastered is my number 3 game of all time. Yeah, Prime Remastered's awesome. I still, every time I turn it on, I'm like, I can't believe they made this game look this good. It looks so beautiful. Prime 2 and Hunters did have multiplayer, though Prime 2 multiplayer was really basic. Yeah, see, Scutless, that's what I was saying. And yeah, I did play, I played a little bit of Hunters multiplayer. I played a lot of Prime 2's multiplayer back in the day with my brother and some of my friends. But admittedly, we didn't play it as much as, like, Halo or COD's multiplayer. You know, I was much more about the single-player mode for sure. So, I think it's a variety of things, but definitely not having the backing of Japan and the marketing, that's a big factor. That is a huge factor. Because even right now with Metroid Prime 4, a lot of people are having a hard time of, like... Oh, I went in the wrong room. A lot of people are having a hard time, like, what to make of this game. You know, like... the first several trailers look really calm and slow moving, you know, and much more of the exploration. And then this last trailer really looked hectic and combat intensive. And seems like a lot of people don't know which game to expect. Okay, I don't know where it wants me to go. I have the double jump, so it has to be somewhere with a double jump. Which may be here, might be even at the temple grounds. I'm not sure. Is that door blocked off? Let me look a little bit. Then 343 killed Halo. Yeah, absolutely. 343 absolutely destroyed Halo, unfortunately. Halo was an odd series of a campaign being almost, if not important to people, than multiplayer, which is insane. For me, it was all about the campaign. I have played so many more hours of the campaign just over and over again for all 3 games than the multiplayer. But, you know, that's how it goes. Okay, so it's this door. So I can't go here. Sorry, guys. It's a lot of looking at my map and trying to figure out what I'm supposed to do now. Maybe I'm just supposed to go back to the temple grounds now. Or maybe there. Let's try there first. Which of the Prime games has the best environments, maps, areas? Yeah, I did that already. Probably Prime 1, but I don't know. There's something eerie and special about Prime 2. And even Prime 3 is awesome because I really, really love... I love Skytown and I like Brio in Prime 3 a lot too. Those are really cool. But probably give a little bit of the edge to Prime 1. Metroid Prime 1 just had such great aesthetics, like the Phazon Mines. Magmore Caverns is awesome. My only big complaint with Magmore Caverns is there not being a boss there. There should have been a boss there. Crazy to me that they didn't. Originally, Thardas, who was in the boss of the Phendrana Drifts, he was supposed to be the boss of the Magmore Caverns. But then they ended up moving him to the Phendrana Drifts because... why did they do that again? Because basically they scrapped what was going to be like the Omega Sheegoth, like, you know, the mini boss that you fight and the little Sheegoths. They were going to have like a big one with a giant like ape-like complex, and it was going to be gigantic. Well, you know, like with a lot of the Prime games and Retro Studios games, there was crunch and there was time constraints. So, unfortunately, they had to scrap that. Prime 1 is more iconic, yeah, for sure. Halo was the only franchise that I cared about multiplayer as well as the single player. Yeah, that's true, actually. I think for me too, that's probably true. I mean, unless you count Prime 2 Echoes, I did enjoy the multiplayer. All right, let's read this lore. If I think I remember it correctly, I really like this one. What is it, like Cataclysm? Yeah, Cataclysm. The starborn terror burnt through the heavens and struck Aether with an untold might. We all expected the world to shatter, but Aether held. There was a great devastation. However, the green plains of Agon were scorched forever, and the forest of Torvis was engulfed and racked by the sea. The skies burned for days, casting darkness all over the land. So the meteor struck so hard that not only did it split the dimensions, but this entire Agon waste was a once beautiful, lush green land that's now just totally scorched. And then Torvis Bog is a bog literally just because the meteor created tsunamis and turned the whole thing into a bog. To me, that's really cool. Asking me to pick like which Prime game has the best whatever is my favorite. To me, that's the same thing about asking which of the Lord of the Rings movies is my favorite. I'm like, I love them all. Don't make me pick. I love all of them. I tell you guys what, though, if Halo had stayed awesome, I might have a channel about Halo as well. But 343 did not keep up with what Bungie created. That would be right there with Zelda and Metroid as my favorite video game franchises ever. But it's sad now that I feel like I'll never be excited for a Halo game again. My number one was Gears of War Mad World trailer. I've never played the Gears of War game. My buddy Rolo tells me I need to play it all the time. He's always telling me I need to play it, so I want to. I definitely want to. Looks like something I'd be into. And I don't know how it evaded me, too. I always wanted Gears of War for the 360, because I remember when the 360 first came out, and the first Gears of War was one of the big games that were really pushing for the 360, so I don't know how that one ever evaded me. I should have picked that up at some point. It's hard, though, man. It's hard to play new games nowadays because, like, if you're serious about taking something and growing something and turning it into, like, part of your livelihood and part of your job, like Metroid and Zelda, what I'm trying to do and what's kind of working, you gotta be relentless about it, man. You know, you gotta make content on these games. You gotta get through all the ones you haven't been through and all that sort of thing. And, so, like, it's hard to feel like I should be playing other games right now when I need to be getting through, you know, more Metroid and Zelda stuff. I like Halo way more than Gears, but that trailer just hit on another level. I don't remember where this is leading. Oh, yeah, so now you see all the space pirates going in the dark world. You should also try Doom. The modern Doom games are great. I've played some of the Doom games, and I love Doom. Yes, Doom is awesome. I own Doom Eternal. Doom Eternal's awesome. Yeah, Doom's super cool. Doom Eternal is a phenomenal. Agreed. The action is just incredible. The music's badass. The gunplay's sick. I really like it. The one I haven't played is Doom: The Dark Ages, and that was interesting because it was like super hyped, and then all of a sudden the hype just died and disappeared. So, like, was that game good? Was the Doom: The Dark Ages good, or was that why it died off? It just was kind of disappointing. Let me know what you guys think. But let's go ahead and read some lore. These are the space pirate logs. These are usually the fun ones. Phazon operations. Science team detected the presence of Phazon in the Dasha system 4 cycles ago. High Command authorized the deployment of our team shortly thereafter. Our orders are to establish a base on planet Aether and evaluate local Phazon resources. Because this world lies on the periphery of Galactic Federation territory, we are following stealth protocols at the highest level. A cadre? I don't know that word. Of elite commandos has been dispatched to provide security for our force as well. This operation is now underway. Well, you guys failed in your stealth mission. That's literally what got us all here, is Team Bravo discovered them. Let's see here. Dark Ages is still on the to-do list, hoping to get it before the end of the year, but planning to play through the whole franchise first. I watched someone play Doom: The Dark Ages. All I can say is it felt more story cinematic focused than the previous Doom games. Zelda question. Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom? Tears of the King... sorry. Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild. Let me restart this lore. Let me read this lore, and then I'll explain to you why, Tom. I have a lot of thoughts on it. Local conflict. Intelligence reports on the indigenous population of Aether are in error. This planet is not at peace, nor are the inhabitants docile. Evidence of a Class 4 conflict is present here, though hostiles are at a minimal level now. Our territory has suffered several raids by a strange type of shadowy creature. These raids have caused considerable damage, and we have requested more combat troops in response. Neither Ocarina of Time. Breath of the Wild, I like the music more on Breath of the Wild. Tears of the Kingdom felt very melancholy. Too much so. Like the music on the Sky Islands and the overworld, plus everything didn't feel fresh because it felt so much like we had already explored those worlds. The sage's abilities were more annoying than fun, to be honest. I can't tell you how many times Tulin has shot the wrong thing at the wrong time, or Yunobo has lit on fire something I didn't want on fire, or, they're blocking the screen, or... The spatial anomaly has been found within our base. We believe this rift in space and time leads to parallel dimension of some type, but have been unable to interact with it thus far. A strange artifact was found near the anomaly as well. It may be a weapon or generator of some kind. Perhaps it is the key to accessing the anomaly. High Command is eager to reports on the relic. A new weapon for our arsenal is always welcome. Let me just get through all these. Then we'll dive into a talk about Tears of the Kingdom versus Breath of the Wild, because I have been going through Breath of the Wild. Just yesterday I was playing it, and my feelings about Breath of the Wild being more enjoyable than Tears of the Kingdom are even stronger now that I'm going back and playing Breath of the Wild again. The Rift Portal has been opened. The artifact weapon, dubbed the Dark Beam by Science Team, provides the energy needed to open the portal. Although, for a limited time, we've sent expeditions through the portal, and they have returned with incredible news. The portal leads to a parallel version of Aether. This dark Aether has suffered a global calamity, turning it into a toxic wasteland. It is the home world of the shadowy creatures who have been raiding our base for the last cycle. Most importantly, it is the prime location of Phazon in this sector. Extraction plans are being prepared. We will not be denied. Yeah, I mean, for the Switch 2 with modern graphics, not polishing the old. Would you recommend Tears of the Kingdom over Breath of the Wild to someone who hasn't played either? No, I'd recommend Breath of the Wild still. So my biggest complaint, my biggest complaint with Tears of the Kingdom is Link is overpowered. Link can do too many things to the point that it doesn't make things fun or challenging. Shrines are too easy. Even traveling is too easy. I am, like, in Breath of the Wild, I would go to certain locations, and I'd see this mountain way off in the distance. And I'd be like, I want to get to the top of that hill. And it was a challenge. It's probably snowing on the hill. I have to make sure I have enough resources and everything to get up there. I have to climb, but it's raining. There's certain challenges that are being presented. But in Tears of the Kingdom, because you can ascend, because you can create something that just flies you to the top, because you can instantly warp to a sky island and fall down onto onto a mountaintop or that sort of thing, there is no challenge. And if there's no complex journey, then my sense of adventure is gone. To me, it didn't feel like there was much adventure in Tears of the Kingdom, and it didn't help the fact that most of Hyrule I had already explored before, and at a certain point, I could just tell that the depths were a whole lot of copy and pasting. Not to mention that the Sky Islands, there's disproportionately so much less of the Sky Islands than there are of Hyrule and the depths. So yeah, for me, the lack of a challenge and the lack of adventure was the worst thing about Tears of the Kingdom, because you made everything too easy. I understand it's fun to have all these abilities and be able to do all these things, but if you don't limit what Link is able to do to a certain extent, then there is no challenge. Then there is no sense of adventure for me, because it's too easy to just go anywhere at any time. Yeah, exactly. It's just, that's how I felt personally. I see the Tears of the Kingdom as expensive DLC for Breath of the Wild. Yeah. Can't determine origin of Aether's dark twin contains high levels of Phazon ore. Native bioforms attack on sight. Breath of the Wild is a masterpiece. It's not a traditional Zelda, but that doesn't really matter. Tears of the Kingdom was pretty much a sandbox mod slapped on top of that. They didn't really function well as a game. Yeah, to me, Tears of the Kingdom was just a worse version. Like, you could do more, but my enjoyment going through it was not nearly as much. I don't hate the game. I put hundreds of hours into it and still enjoyed it, but I enjoyed Breath of the Wild so much more. Planet is unstable due to transdimensional flux. Warfare has devastated a good portion of the world's population. Finally, extreme climate shifts have left most of Aether uninhabitable. So, the smashing of the meteor has turned this place into just like a total climate mess. There's storms going on all over the place. Most of the Luminoth have gone extinct. And after that, when the Ing showed up, there was this big war between the Ing and the Luminoth, which we're just now starting to hear about. But yeah, so the big hope I had, because we had plenty of time to hope for things with Tears of the Kingdom, I wanted Breath of the Wild, like more of Breath of the Wild, but I wanted much richer, complex, more difficult to complete dungeons, and I got the opposite. The temples became so easy because Link could do anything that it was like laughable compared to more traditional dungeons as far as complexity goes. And for me, going through Zelda games like Twilight Princess, Ocarina of Time, Link to the Past, the dungeons have literally felt like half of the game, going all the way back to the NES Zelda. Like, you explore the open world, then you do a dungeon for the same equal amount of time. Then you do an open world, then you go to a dungeon for the same equal amount of time. Like, that's always traditionally what it felt like. And that's been lost in the newer Zelda games. And if you think about when Skyward Sword last came out, like, that's how long it's been since we've had, like, really good dungeons in a 3D Zelda game. What opened up? Let me see here. So, was it this door? I guess it was this door. Breath of the Wild was my first Zelda game, peak experience, but Tears of the Kingdom has Sonai devices, well for outfits and Ascend. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying none of it was fun. I'm not saying I didn't enjoy any of it, but if you ask me to compare it to Breath of the Wild, yeah, it's not even close. I enjoyed one more than the other. There are times I go through Breath of the Wild and I'm like, God, I really wish I could do something. I think the fuse ability was really, really fun. I really enjoyed the fuse ability. Ultra Hand did start to wear on me overall, but the fuse ability was a lot of fun. And I do miss it a lot of the time when going through Breath of the Wild again. I want them to return to pre-Breath of the Wild formula, although there isn't any reason they couldn't have both styles running concurrently. Yeah, that's how I feel. I'm like, just do both. Just do both. You make billions and billions of dollars off of these games. You're Nintendo. You're one of the biggest entertainment companies in the entire world. Why can't you have separate teams who are passionate about separate things working on two separate things? Like, to me, it seems easy. And then, both teams are happy. And then I could probably appreciate Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom style games even more, because now I'm able to appreciate them for what they are and not look at them through the lens of, man, I really miss Twilight Princess and Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. I miss games like that, you know? I still have those games, but I miss getting new games like that, you know? And that's the thing that frustrates me, when newer Zelda fans are like, you still have those games. Like, why are you complaining? You still have those games. It's like, well, yeah, but imagine not being able to get excited for a certain genre of game anymore. Like, because they just don't make them anymore. Like, that's a loss, you know? That's something to mourn over. All right, the Hunter. Samus Aran, the cursed hunter, has arrived. The sudden arrival of the hunter is strange enough because her actions are stranger still. She does not seek our destruction, but our Phazon. Ah, see, they think it's Samus. It's not Samus. This is Dark Samus. With each raid, she steals Phazon ore, only killing those who attempt to deny her. What she needs it for, we do not know. Though science team suspects she requires it to power her new armor suit. Dark in color, it is equipped with strange new weapons. The troops now call her the Dark Hunter. It is a fitting title. Daniel says, I just wish Breath of the Wild had better dungeons. It would have been the perfect game if it did. Yes, 100% agree. That's all I wanted Tears of the Kingdom to be. More of Breath of the Wild with bring back S-tier dungeons. But because you could do so much with Link, it basically ruined the linear structure of dungeons. Because, again, I've talked about this a million times before. Just imagine going through any of the old Zelda dungeons, the ones that like really made you have to think and like puzzle solve and everything, with Tears of the Kingdom abilities. You see this room you can't reach? All right, that's fine. Just create an aircraft that can float up to it. There's a room above you can't get to. That's okay. Just ascend up through it. Like it's just, it's like, imagine like the reason why puzzles are fun is because there's a little bit of a challenge. What Tears of the Kingdom felt like is it felt like a puzzle where every piece was the same shape and where the entire puzzle is just the color blue. So it's like everything fits everywhere, everything works together, and there is no challenge. And to me, that's like fundamentally not what Zelda has historically been, and so it just didn't feel satisfying in the same way for me. What's hilarious is how much better the past two Zelda games have been in quality versus Pokemon. LOL, it hurts my soul. Yeah, in some ways they're fantastic. There's just certain elements that are missing where if they reintroduce those, I would be so freaking happy. Johnny, when you get playing Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom on stream, we should come up with a challenge rule set to make it as miserable and hard as possible. I think no warps and no horses is a good start. Well, it's funny that you say that. I have done a no map run of Tears of the Kingdom. I did it probably 7 or 8 months ago, just on my own. What I did was I went into the button mapping of the game and literally just disabled the map button so I couldn't use it. And that made the game so fun for me in like whole new ways, because it really had to make me like, it was a challenge again. I had to really think about like the decisions I made, and okay, if I go down to the depths, I got to make sure I have plenty of light, objects, because if I go down there and I don't have a way to get out because I don't have fast travel, I'm stuck down there with no light. Every time I go to the Sky Island, I had to make sure I had enough energy to float up there because I could no longer fast travel up there. It's fun. I think I'm going to do it again on stream sometime. I can't do it right now because I just think there's too much going on with like Metroid, that I'm streaming a lot of Metroid games. I've promised people the Skyward Sword no shield run, so that's going to happen soon. Maybe even Majora's Mask as well. But I don't know. Maybe in a few months, maybe like 2 or 3 months, when all that settles down, we could do a no map run for either Breath of the Wild or even Tears of the Kingdom. I think that'd be cool to do it again, because there are some fun challenges that you don't even realize they're a challenge until you're in it. Okay, so I think that one twice. That's the energy tank, so this one goes down once. There is a really, really hard part in the beginning of the game, and I thought of Tears of the Kingdom, where I thought I might actually be stuck, but there's a way you can cheese it. It took me a while to figure out, but there's a way you can cheese it. So I can't wait to play that on stream with you guys. That'll be fun. You guys will have to be very patient at some points, though, if you want to see that stream, because it takes a long time to get to certain Sky Islands when you don't have fast travel. Let's see here. Also, like, another small thing, but, like, can we bring back, like, Chad Link? Like, can we bring back, like, first of all, let's make Link look a little bit taller, all right? Let's make him look a little bit taller. And second, like, why does he gotta be so skinny and frail looking? Like, I miss Twilight Princess Link, where he's like sumo wrestling dudes, and the dude looks like a freaking unit. Can we bring that Link back? Like, the Link that looks like an adventurer and an ass kicker? Like, I want that Link back. No glider, I think, is actually impossible to do in Tears of the Kingdom. Softlock's you, if I recall it correctly. Yeah. Yes, Twilight Princess Link is best Link. Yeah, Twilight Princess Link is freaking awesome. I love the fact that he's learning throughout his journey from Ocarina of Time Link. On top of that, I love the cutscenes that just portray him as such a badass. Like, every time he saves Colin from, like, death, it's the coolest thing, man. And then Colin's looking up to him like, I want to be a hero just like you one day. I'm like, man, I love being Link. Link's awesome. Twilight Princess Link is freaking amazing. I'll make a video on that at some point. Probably like why Twilight Princess Link is S tier Link or something like that. That'll have to happen at some point. If you sat in a coma for 100 years, you wouldn't be buff either. Well, he's had plenty of time to get back in shape, you know, when Tears of the Kingdom happened. That is a fair point for Breath of the Wild, though. I'll give you that one. He's probably a little hungry and a little famished. You have any faith in the Zelda movie? Do you wish it was the Mario movie style as an animated? I would definitely feel like that's the safer bet. But I'm not gonna lie, I've wanted a live-action Zelda movie ever since I was a kid. Ever since I saw Lord of the Rings, I was like, imagine if this was Link in Hyrule, you know? And maybe Miyamoto had the same kind of vision, you know? And now they're doing it in New Zealand, so I don't know. Like, I have some hope, but it's small hope. I feel like the expectations are so astronomically high that it's going to be very hard to live up to them. My most recent Zelda video on this channel is actually all about the Zelda movie and my expectations of it. So, you know, check that one out if you have a chance, because I really elaborate on it quite a bit. Honestly, I don't get why it isn't. Yeah, the animated style, I just think that he wants it to be this epic, grand tale. And I know, like, Lord of the Rings gets brought up a lot. And I know they've even said that they're not aiming for it to be Lord of the Rings from a director, but I'm not convinced that that's not what Shigeru Miyamoto wanted, because they have literally admitted that after Lord of the Rings came out, Twilight Princess took a lot of inspiration from Lord of the Rings. I think to a certain extent he wants the film to be like that, at least from Miyamoto's perspective. Security breach. Nice. I got your last 7 or 8 videos downloaded for tomorrow at work. I appreciate it, Tom. Thanks, man. You think they'll have Link exploring dungeons in the movie? He's got to do it at least a little bit. It ain't a Zelda movie if there isn't some sort of dungeon aspect to it. Even if it was a divine beast, there's got to be some sort of indoor, isolating type dungeon thing. The Dark Hunter teleports into the base at will. Our security has proven next to useless against her. Her latest raid was disastrous. Not only did we lose more phase onto her, but she also crippled the stealth field generator with her strange new weapons. We are exposed. Until the replacement generator arrives, we will be vulnerable to scans and detection. Our presence here is still minimal should the Federation find us. We will be unable to defend our position. Fortunately, Aether is on the fringe of Federation space. With luck, we will have stealth field back in effect before being detected. Bad news, you're detected. I think this is part of the funniest parts, the funniest and most amazing things about the space pirates in this one is, man, there are so many things just complicating their lives. They have the Metroids are not obeying them the way they're supposed to. They have the natural habitat of Aether. They have the Ing start messing things up for them. They have the Federation troopers. They have Samus. They have Dark Samus. The amount of things that are just making their lives complicated. And at a certain point, there is a space pirate log that's basically just like venting about how miserable and how complicated their lives are. And it's beautiful. Freddie with the $2 says Baby Zelda tax. LOL. JK, hello. Thank you. Yes, Baby Zelda definitely appreciates that. I assume she's probably asleep with mom right now, but oh my god, she's so freaking cute right now. I love my daughter so much. Hardest part about these streams and working so much is that I don't get to spend more time with my little girl. But I'm making sure, like, I don't take many days off nowadays. Tomorrow's going to be a day off. I'm just going to I'm going to post tomorrow's basketball video, and then I'm just going to relax and enjoy some time with my wife and daughter. Sounds very, very nice. See, Tears of the Kingdom Link is living that stay-at-home bodyguard life. Cut him some slack. Thank you to the 42 people in here. I appreciate every single one of you. Ah, Dark Samus. You beautiful, evil woman. Evil thing. Ah, crap. I love the freaking music, man. For both this one and Prime 3 as well. The fact that they brought Dark Samus as an Echo Fighter to Super Smash Bros., but didn't bring Dark Samus's theme song over is a travesty. I'm still mad that the Phazon suit, i.e. best suit, Samus isn't a skin in Smash Ultimate. Yeah, that would have been sick too. What's the most funny story that you've had on this time being a parent? Oh man, I don't know. There's been some good ones. Give me a second to think about it. Oh God, I didn't. Oh my gosh, that hurt. I did not realize she would just like plow through everything. Dark Samus, you're so cool. As I'm getting absolutely destroyed, I'm like, you're so cool. Something, I mean, it's not the funniest story by any means, but something funny that kind of happened today. So we just recently got her a new plushie. We got her Charmander, and my daughter absolutely loves her Charmander plushie. That was my wife's idea while she was napping, while my daughter was napping. So very good call on mom. She knew she'd love Charmander. She was absolutely right on that one. Well, anyway, she like poured a bunch of like milk, spilt a bunch of milk all over Charmander. Charmander had to be washed, right? And so anyway, she washes Charmander and then has him air drying outside, but she can see him through the window as he's air drying. And something about just seeing him through the window, but she couldn't reach him, she couldn't access him, was enough to just like have her so freaking distressed. Poor thing. She was like so distressed. The little things that just bother, you know, babies and children who just don't understand is so funny. That, and anytime my wife wears like one of my flannels or one of my button-up shirts, that also just like, it's like, huh? Why are you wearing daddy's torso? She just doesn't get it. Those are more sad than anything else though, but she's funny. She's super funny. Let's see here. Johnny, do you think Breath of the Wild Link got PTO after the events of the game, or did he just pick up where he left off guarding Zelda, running that 0 sick days life? I think it was that. I think it was definitely that. Link doesn't speak up for himself, or they just tend to take advantage of him. That's what I think. Ah. How old is she? She's a little. She just turned 1 fairly recently, and she's cute, man. She's so great. Genuinely shocked how cute she is. My wife gets mad at me for saying this all the time, but I'm like, I'm involved. Like, I didn't think she'd be that cute because I'm involved. I'm like, I'm gonna give her like my gross features and my gross genes and all that sort of thing. She's not gonna be that cute. And she gets mad every time I say that. But I genuinely was concerned about that. I'm like, is our baby going to be... And she's the most precious thing, man. She's perfect. She's so perfect. I love her. Any plushie being milked should be considered a crime. Let's see here. Milk. Yes, says ID Monster. Yes, I cannot say that word correctly. Daniel says, I gave my daughter the choice between 3 starter Pokemon plushies, and she chose Bulbasaur, which is my least favorite. But see, that's also perfect. Because you don't want them picking the same thing as you with having all the favorite things. Like, my wife right now is really trying to propagandize our little daughter into loving Peach, because she doesn't want her loving Rosalina like she does, and then she'll have to, like, give her Rosalina things or share her Rosalina things. And so she's like, you will love Peach. Which is like, that's how I'd feel too. Like, I want her to love Zelda, I want her to love Metroid, but when it comes to my things, no. Groudon is my favorite Pokemon, okay? You get your own, okay? Pick your own favorite. Angel Knight says Prime 2 is best Prime. I got no problems with you feeling that way, man. It's awesome. Well, Dark Samus disintegrated. Her role in the story is now over. Now can we focus on the Aang as the real antagonist? No, absolutely not. More Dark Samus. Always more Dark Samus. Never enough Dark Samus. Alright, we got another lore here. Shadow War. What? Hey, let her choose between Rosalina and Peach. I mean, we will. We will. We're just, you know. But you can influence her a little bit in the meantime. I mean, you have to. You have to give them certain things. You're choosing what to show in front of them. And so, yeah, right now she likes Pokemon a lot because she's got Pokemon plushies. The local war has escalated in intensity. The Shadowlings from Dark Aether have launched an offensive. The assault seems focused on a central network of buildings atop a mountain, a base, perhaps. Strangely, this attack coincides with the rise in planetary instability. Perhaps these shadow creatures are using a new weapon system? The Shadowlings must believe us to be foes, for they have hit our base numerous times as well. We are holding, but attrition is taking its toll on our troops and resources, and reinforcements are en route. We can only wait and defend what is ours. You're a bunch of, like, thieves. You're space pirates. None of this is yours. The lack of Daisy in the conversation is insane. I don't know, man. Daisy's getting, like, simped over and these days that I'm like, maybe you should just avoid Daisy, because now there's a lot of weirdos tied to Daisy. I hate to say it, but it's true. It's true. Like, she's literally used in her bikini outfit for, like, clickbait on Mario Kart videos. It's like, y'all gone too far. Y'all have gone too far. And not you as in you guys in the chat, but you know what I mean. All right, let's check out this lore. Federation attack. There we go. Zelda over Peach. Yeah, see, Daniel, you know what's up. Another disaster. The transport bringing our reinforcements and supplies has been shot down. It was engaged in orbit by Federation vessel. We saw this earlier in the intro and learning how the Federation troopers fell. which has landed near the alien temple. It's only a matter of time before the Marines attack. Survivors from our ship have made their way to our base. Here we shall make our stand. Another enemy. First the Shadowlings, then the Dark Hunter, and now the Galactic Federation Marine Corps. Perhaps fate will smile upon us before the world itself opens its maw and swallows us. Yeah, it's getting pretty despairing. Especially Skyward Sword Zelda. That was going to be my next question, chat. Which Zelda is best Zelda? Daisy the best, Rosalina is awful, and Peach has always sucked. What? Blasphemy, Brian. Blasphemy. What's up with the hate for Rosalina? Rosalina is awesome. She's a space princess. She's mystical. She's cool. To be fair, like, Rosalina is my wife's, like, favorite character, so now I just see Rosalina and I think of her. That's why I like Rosalina. I'm like, she reminds me of my wife. But Rosalina as a character, it's whatever. I like her, but she loves her. She thinks she's really cool. There gets to be a certain point with loved ones in your life where even like their favorite things you start to associate with them, and that's where I'm at now with that. Twilight Princess is also best Zelda. Well, that's what I was gonna ask. Which Zelda? So Daniel says Skyward Sword Zelda, Twilight Princess for Nerdy Neo. Two totally different Zeldas, by the way. Those two. Okay, I don't know if I can go in this dark door, but I'll go over here just to see if I can. Spirit Track Zelda, best Zelda, says Daniel. That's a good vote. I think this might have been the room I was at earlier. I don't know if it'll... Oh! Damn, those lasers do more damage than I expected. Wind Waker Zelda is pretty great. Yeah, she's pretty cool too. I love how much Nintendo just like makes pirates just look like cute and fun. Like, it's so fun to be a pirate, you know, pillaging and assaulting and stealing, and it's wonderful. Marin from Link's Awakening, better than Zelda. Coming in with them hot takes. I've always been a big fan of Ilia, though, from Twilight Princess as well. I know she doesn't get a lot of love, but I really like Ilia from Twilight Princess too. Where am I supposed to go now? I don't know. She was just really sweet. She really cared about Link. She loved Epona, obviously, a lot. And I loved her theme song. I don't know. I think she's really cool, too. Everybody always talks about, like, Midna. And Midna is cool, but I don't ever felt like Ilia got enough love. These lasers remind me of Tears of the Kingdom, where you have to fall down that chimney-looking thing in the sky. Yeah. That, too. God, those plants blind you. Let me see here. Scott says, that's pretty more normal. Even if they don't make you fans themselves, the preferences of friends and family will make you notice them in a way that you hadn't previously. I mean, those of you who are around the G&G streams, it's literally got to the point now where I see Wario and I think of Mike. I see Wario and I think of Epic Mike every single time. And that's not a bad thing, because I love Mike. I think he's hilarious. He's a good friend. But yeah, I can't see Wario now and not think of Mike. Best female character design in the Zelda franchise is Nehru from Oracle of Ages. There's a lot of good ones. I really like Fi from Skyward Sword. Fi looks super cool. Her design. And when you look at like some of the concept art that they made for Fi, like what she was originally supposed to look like, it's like, oh my god. Thank God they went with what they went with. Like, because their other designs for her looked awful. Like, if you have the art book, like, oh man, she looked rough. Really just like, they were leaning into like, they wanted her to look as much like a sword as possible. So lots of jagged edges, metallic, metal looking, and just generally like creepy and disturbing. Let's see here. Lasia says, I want to pour hot coffee over whoever cast the voice actor of Daisy and told her to make her voice sound like that. I'd rather listen to literal nails on chalkboard. Daisy! I feel like the Mario girls just in general are kind of annoying. Recently, Peach's voice hasn't been as bad, but Peach is kind of a... It's like so exaggeratedly like high pitched that it's almost like it's almost annoying to listen to. I'm currently playing through Oracle of Ages, first time in like 2 decades. Nice. At this point, I look at Roy and think of Ripa. I look at Isabel and I think of Johnny. And I imagine you look at Lemmy and think of me. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Even just saying that reminds me of Better Call Saul. If you know, you know. And when you're taking your sugar pills, you think of me. I love that show, man. It's just so good. Freddie, there's sounding girly and high-pitched, then there's Daisy. She is on a warpath right now. Freddie's mad. He's like, don't diss my Daisy. Don't diss my girl Daisy. Okay, where the heck? Oh, I gotta open that one up. Okay. Yeah, I think this needs a missile. How dare you call Pauline annoying? Who called Pauline annoying? Yeah, it's getting to the point where I see Pauline and I think of Krista. Because obviously she's been so big on the Donkey Kong game and then playing in Mario Kart and everything. Oh, shoot, I got 2 to pick from. All right, well, let's get this first. You said all Mario girls were annoying. Basically. I think that's how she feels, man. The lady's got her opinions. She said what she said. Ooh. How did you get in here? I thought you'd die if you got in this bubble. What? That's crazy. Okay, I can't get in those rooms because I don't have the light beam, so I guess we're going back. How are you not dead? You're not supposed to be able to get in these bubbles of light. I think any other Ing would have died. Or no, maybe that's after I get the light beam and I like supercharge it. My bad, actually. I think that is it. Pauline is a woman, not a girl. She's very womanly, for sure. Is my wife fighting the whole chat right now? Is that what's going on? She's just like on a warpath, like dissing every Nintendo female character that isn't Rosalina. If it's not Rosalina, she's lame. Which I kind of respect that, to be honest. Fireform Leo says, I love your basketball channel and happy we got to see your gaming side. Yeah, thanks, Fireform Leo. Yeah. It's a little different because my basketball channel, they're always pushing for me to play 2K, which it makes sense naturally, but like, because, you know, I play basketball, they just assume that like, you know, play a basketball game, but like, last time I seriously played 2K was like back on 2K18, and then I kind of got burnt out with just a lot of the same stuff over and over again, the promising big things and rarely delivering and all that. And to be honest, when I was a kid, this was my life. It was watching basketball games on my dad's VHS tapes over and over again, like watching Magic and Bird and Dominique Wilkins and Michael Jordan, watching all those guys. And then playing Metroid, and then playing Zelda. So, like, it's just kind of stayed that way this whole time. And so, I know it's not, there's not always the greatest overlap, because it's like Nintendo nerds and basketball fans, but, you know, trying to build up 2 separate audiences. I don't like Daisy's voice, but her design is cute. See, now she's offering, like, she's trying to make peace offerings, okay? There's the olive branch, all right? Calm down, you Daisy simps. You have a basketball channel since when? You've never mentioned it before. ID Monster, you can't blame me for that one, okay? You can't blame me for that one. I wasn't the one who brought it up, okay? Someone else did. And what am I supposed to do? Ignore it? Shy Guy Rosalina, says ID Monster. Shy Guy's pretty awesome. I loved his portrayal in the movie, too. We found him in the Darklands. This is like heads twitching. We found him in the Darklands. So good. Like, God, they really went like full on the creepy stuff. It's like heads just throbbing. Yeah, no, Shy Guy's awesome. How can you not love Shy Guy? Is it bad that with all the memes lately, I see Zelda and think of you, Nerdy Neo? Maybe, I don't know. I don't see all that crap. Anybody who makes, like, AI images of me, I block. I'm just like, dude. Especially if you're going to do that nasty crap. I'm sorry. Forgive me. I don't want to look at, like, nasty images of just, like, me looking like whatever. I hate AI enough as it is, so I'm just like, if you do that, I'm just like, block. Moving on. I'm a Nintendo nerd and a basketball fan. Daniel, you're my people. It's just a coincidence I found this channel. Nice. So you found this. So that's the coolest part is every once in a while, you'll get someone who finds my basketball channel and then they'll naturally stumble upon Zeltroid. And in the comment section, they'll be like, Johnny, is this Johnny Arnett? Like, yep. You found me. You found my gaming channel. And that's always really cool. Because they're just like, wait a minute, I did not expect to see you here. Can we all agree that the Omega Pirate is better than all those Nintendo princesses because you can power bomb the Omega Pirate? Facts. Omega Pirate's just like super cool. I know we could have got Kraid, but like, if the Omega Pirate is the consolation prize, like that's pretty good consolation prize. Because the Omega Pirate was more fitting than Kraid anyway, based on the fact that you already had to face the Elite Pirates, the Phazon Pirate, all that sort of thing. He actually made more sense than Kraid in that instance, like his existence. I wish Kraid had been in the Magmor Caverns. That's what I wanted. So when I heard that they were originally designing him for the Phazon Mines instead of the Omega Pirate, I was like, huh, that's a choice. SAX over Dark Samus. From a fun gameplay fear factor mechanic, yes. From a story standpoint, I'm siding with Dark Samus. I really like the story of Dark Samus and its origins and everything. Really, really cool sci-fi stuff. But the SAX is like so fun to flee from. It's so anxiety-inducing, adrenaline pumping. The SAX is super cool. Are you a fan of Nintendo sports games? Yes, like Mario Baseball and Mario Golf. Do you have a favorite? Favorite of all time. Probably Mario Golf Toadstool Tour. But I like a lot of them. I think Toadstool Tour for the GameCube was probably the best one I've ever played. All the Mario Tennis games are super fun. The only Mario basketball game they've ever had was like on a handheld. I think it was like the DS or something, and I never played it. I wish they'd do more with basketball, and I'm kind of surprised that they don't because basketball is a pretty global sport at this point. So yeah, I wish they'd do more with basketball. Because that would be, not to mention, like, if they came out with a new Mario basketball game for the Switch 2, oh my goodness, that would be perfect to stream for my basketball channel or this channel. That would be amazing. So I hope that happens at some point. Freddy for $2, so I gotta do it. Rank every Mario girl. Alright, well, every Mario girl? Rosalina's number 1. Peach number 2. Daisy number 3 and Pauline number 4. Although Pauline could probably climb up that list. She's just still kind of new. and she hasn't been in much, so I feel like she kind of deserves the 4th spot. Never been a huge Daisy fan. I'm not a Daisy hater like my wife, but not a huge Daisy fan. Peach has been annoying in certain games, but in certain games she is really cool. We actually did like that Peach's Showtime game. That was actually a really fun game. I like Peach's personality and the little comics from the Nintendo Power magazines. That was fun too. But yeah, Rosalina's super cool. Toadette. Oh, Toadette. Where would I rank Toadette? I would rank Toadette. I love Toadette. Toadette, in high school, I had a goth friend. She was really cool. She's like what first got me into like anime and that sort of thing. She used to play Halo with us and that sort of thing. So she was a really good friend back in high school. She always played as Toadette. So when I think of Toadette, I think of her too. Toadette is cool. She's always portrayed in the games as like a really, really oh shoot, I gotta get up quick. She's always portrayed as a really, really sweet character. Like just really wholesome, really sweet. And so I would say Toadette probably, I think number 3. I had what? Yeah, I had Rosalina, then Peach, then Toadette. That's how I would rank them. No Bowsette. No Bowsette. No. no Bowsette for me. Wendy, Koopa Kid, last. Yeah, I'd probably have her last. I don't feel like Wendy's in enough to get like a higher ranking than that. I mean, you guys said every Mario girl. I'm sure there's even a ton more that we're not thinking of. Do you know that at one point they planned an evil version of Peach? A Wah Peach? Oh, like Waluigi and Wario. Interesting. A Wah Peach. To go along with Wario and Waluigi. She was planned for both Mario Tennis 64 and Mario Power Tennis, but didn't make it. I wonder why they didn't do that, because that actually sounds kind of fun. Yeah, and that would be a cool, like, natural way to bring in another option for girl gamers, you know? So yeah, I wonder why they didn't do that. I think that sounds like a pretty cool idea, actually. Kind of feel like that was a missed opportunity. And to be honest, I'd still be for it. I don't feel like it's too late. That sounds cool. Oh shoot, did I just go back down? Or am I seeing things? I think my like sense of motion is thrown off. Okay, yeah, it is. I'm confused. Is there somewhere where I can shoot this pillar? I thought there would be. Alright, so where am I going? No, I have to go up there. Do I just have to shoot all these guys? Nope. Oh my god, seriously? I just have to take the hit? Wild. Wild, wild, wild. That's crazy. I just have to, like, take the damage. What's up, Vatlaw? How you doing? Let's see here. If you could have any Nintendo character as a sidekick for, like, who would it be and why? Any Nintendo character as a sidekick. I mean, if they're going to be my sidekick, I assume we're taking on some crazy stuff. I would say Link. Probably. I feel like if I pick Samus, if I pick Samus, then you probably have to deal with the stuff that comes with Samus's universe, and I don't want to deal with like outbreaks, contagions, diseases, infections, mutations. I'm good, man. Like Samus can stay away and keep all of her toxic stuff that she has with her just away. So yeah, but Link can also handle himself and is a badass. So I'd probably take Link. There's a number of reasons. Two examples. Miyamoto felt that Wa-Peach should be ugly when the decider wanted a cute girl. Nintendo was also wary of a lawsuit because she was super similar. Oh, interesting. That's crazy. Yeah, I guess she could be ugly or cute. I would be of the opinion like make her cute. Like make her a character that like girls will want to play as. But I don't know. It's understandable that he'd want evil to look evil. Like, make her ugly, make her terrible looking. So I don't know. That does make sense. I would take King of Red Lions. He's a boat and he talks. That's a good choice. I like that logic. If you're down to spend a lot of time on the water, I can get behind that. That sounds pretty cool. Okay, so now we got a couple light doors we can go to. Let's start with this one, seeing that it's just closer. Let's do this so I get a little bit more dark energy. Alright, thank you to everybody who's hanging out. We're going to play a little while longer, probably like another 20 minutes to half hour, I would guess. It's hard to leave when viewership's this good. It's crazy because it always works this way where it builds throughout the night, so I don't know. Seems like longer streams are where it's at for my audience. But I don't want to get to bed too late tonight, and I know it is a Sunday and some people got to work tomorrow, so I feel kind of like a jerk streaming this late. Alright, chat. Let me try to catch up with chat while I let my health kind of reload real quick. Let's see here. Daisy as my sidekick, enough said. See, Freddy, I knew it all along. You're a Daisy simp, and that's why you were battling with my wife over how cool Daisy is. I knew it. I saw right through you, brother. I know what kind of man you are. Maybe if Samus was my sidekick, I could get a suit like her. Yeah, Angel Knight, that would be cool. But even then, Samus is like the baddest chick in the entire universe. She's got a 6 suit. And still think about all the crap she's been through. Like friends dying, having to kill her own friends. She's had to be vaccinated for being infected by the X-Parasite. She turns into a literal frickin' Metroid. Think about how her parents are killed. Like, this universe is harsh. This universe is so harsh. Then she gets, like, infected with Phazon to where she's literally, like, puking it out and dealing with, like, trying not to become a version of Dark Samus herself, because she's trying to avoid Phazon corruption. It's just, Samus has, like, the hardest life out of, like, any Nintendo character, and I think no character's had a harder life than her. I would have Meowth as a sidekick and use Payday for infinite money. Ooh, I didn't even think about, like, Pokemon. That's a good one. I love how I made one comment and it turned into this lore of me battling the entire chat. It's epic, okay? You taking them all on, all right? I'm paying you your respect, okay? You're a one-woman army, sweetheart, all right? It's like the John Wick thing. It's like one of him, 300 of them. I'd say the odds are even. Yoshi is also a solid pick if he is scaled to you. Yeah, it's true. Have a rideable Yoshi at any time. If you see any sort of enemy you don't want to deal with, just have Yoshi eat it. Wobbuffet, just so he can slap people. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I guess maybe like some iterations of Link are not overpowered enough for me to feel safe. I think picking like a really like overpowered legendary Pokemon might be a good choice as a sidekick, because yeah, what I worry about is if you're giving me a sidekick with like superpowers, what are we going up against? Okay, because like I better have someone who's capable. Now what do I get out of it? Like, Do I get like a BFG or something? Do I get like a big frickin' gun? Like, give me something like that. Scutless says, oh, Pokemon turns the question on its head because 98% of the Pokemon can tell the laws of physics to sit down. Yeah, for sure. They're basically like X-Men, you know? Freddy. One thing my wife has never been accused of is feeling passionately about things. But she's been that way forever. She's just like, she just thinks her voice is annoying. Like, that's fair. There are some characters that I can't stand how they sound. So I get it. I'm trying to think who's a character like that for me, where just their voice is just like nails on chalkboard for me. I don't know. I know I have them, but they're not coming to mind right now. Samus and Other M. The baby. There we go. I found it. Listen, if there's any other M enjoyers in the chat, I accept you guys. You guys are welcome here. You're free to have whatever opinion you want. I'm just free also to not like it. All right? That's all I'm asking. No, I don't think I'm thinking of a broad brush enough of like, I don't think I'm thinking like in depth enough, like Nintendo characters. There's so many Nintendo characters. Nerdino says, I didn't mind Other M when it first came out. Replaying it just a few weeks ago, I hated it. What changed? That has me curious, actually. What changed? You know what? Can we do this? Come on, come on. You know, you all want to attack me now. Are they not going to attack me over here? They're like, I know what you're doing. I see your games. Maybe this one will work. Angel Knight says, Other M makes a great frisbee. Yeah, there you go. Perhaps I was too harsh on you. Come on. Other M has a way of turning people into AM. Let's see here. Okay. I just didn't remember almost anything about the game, so it was almost like a first playthrough. The story and progression of Other M sucks. Yeah. Yeah. And you made Samus annoying like that. If the Paramount's Halo taught us anything, it's that you don't ruin the main character. I don't want to keep harping on the same things all the time, but never in my life have I seen any sort of entertainment show or movie that made me as mad as Halo's Paramount did. I was like, this Master Chief sucks. However, there are a few slight tweaks that can make the game drastically better. Yep, I agree with that too. Freddy says, true, Paramount's Halo stinks. Yeah, it was bad. And I, love Master Chief, too. I freaking, Master Chief is, to me, Master Chief is, America's bald eagle. He's just, a symbol of just, kicking ass, patriotism, freedom. Master Chief's freaking awesome, man. Just a stoic hero who doesn't whine, who doesn't cry, who doesn't complain. He just gets the job done, and he loves his girl Cortana. And then you just had to change him into this like freaking estrogen filled just whining baby who just wants to talk about his past and his feelings and talk about, I'm a man too, like I'm a person too, I like nuts. I don't care if you like nuts. Master Chief never talked about how you like nuts. Keep your helmet on. Why are you naked? Why are you making out with the She-Arbiter? What is this? God, I hated that show. Alright, so now let's go on the white door over here. It's sad how Master Chief was the face of video games, and now look where he is. I would say the face of video games in America for a little while there. Yeah, he was the face of Xbox. I would say the face of, like, American gaming for a while. But yeah, it's just... I mean, because that part you can't argue with. If you like modern Halo games, you know, if you like Infinite, if you like Halo 4 and 5, whatever. Okay, everybody's free to have their own opinions and stuff. But one thing you can't argue with is it's not as popular as it was. Like, it's not... It doesn't have the cultural impact that it once had, you know? Halo 3 was the bomb back in the day. Oh, it was so good. It was so good. I was late to play it. I was late to play it because I didn't have the money for an Xbox 360 back then. But the first time I played it, I was actually house sitting for a friend. So I had to take care of his cat. So it was fun, actually. The first time I ever went through Halo 3, I went through it on Legendary. Because I was like, I have this entire week of just me, his cat, taking care of him, and he's got a 360 in Halo 3. So it was the first time I ever played it was at his friend's house, and man, that was such a sweet memory. I just remember playing nothing but Halo that week, and that was wonderful. I had so much fun. And but yeah, I wanted to get the full experience, be really challenging, so I did it on Legendary, and I barely finished it in time. Was up like super late the night before he got back just to make sure I could finish it. All right, so let's do this portal. The only Halo I've played is ODST. Daniel, did you like it? Because if you liked it, bro, you have got some good, fun times ahead of you playing the other ones. You got to play the other ones then. If you like modern Halo games, you are either a liar or a tourist, says Heidi Munster. Yikes. But I don't know. Where the state of Halo is at, it's an opportunity to be grateful, at the very least. I am so grateful for the fact that I can still be happy and excited about, like, Metroid games and Zelda games and that sort of thing. It's kind of sad that there was a genre that we all once loved and played and enjoyed, and it's just... that excitement's gone, you know? And so I cherish that. I cherish that, and I'm glad that's still here for, like, Metroid. Like, I can't wait for Metroid Prime 4. And I hope it delivers on the expectations for the few fans that it has. We're really, really excited about it. But we'll see. I'll be honest with you guys on this channel. If it lives up to the expectation, I'll say it. If it disappoints, I'll say it. I'm not thrilled about everything I've seen so far, but it's not like a Halo 4, Halo 5 type thing where it's like, oh my god, Samus has a bike. This is a killer for me. Heck no, it's not that. Oh, you don't have to be in Morph Ball. Interesting. Let's do that one. Oh, I get to shoot space pirates with this thing? See you later. See you later. Oh, that's fun. I forgot about that. That's awesome. Never before have space pirates been so easy. Wow. They're pretty dang easy on Metroid Prime 3 as well with that phase-on mode or whatever it's called. I still think Samus could beat Master Chief if she's at full power. Yeah, it's tough. It depends on like Master Chief in the books is even more badass than the games. So it depends on like which Chief you're looking at, but Samus is busted too. Like all she has to do is frickin' use the screw attack on him, and he's basically incinerated, and she's invincible. There's not much you can do with Samus if she's got the screw attack. Yeah, ID Monster, exactly. Depends on if Chief is lore accurate or game accurate. Yeah, exactly. I guess until I have Spider Ball, I can't get that item over there, which is fine. Let's see here. It was a great time, says Daniel. Daniel, I don't know what you've got going on in your personal life or what's going on, but I urge you, please, I urge you that when you have some free time to do some gamings or a new video game, my man, you not playing Halo Trilogy means you're missing out on some of the greatest video games ever created, especially if you loved ODST. If you really liked ODST, then you'll love the Halo Trilogy. I love ODST, but to me, the Halo Trilogy is far superior. Halo 1, 2, and 3. Even Halo Reach is fun. Halo Reach is a little bit divisive. I love it, but some people who were a fan of the books really hated the way it just kind of screwed up the canon and the lore. That isn't me, so I still really, really enjoyed Halo Reach. But yeah, highly, highly urge you, before you kick the bucket, play the Halo Trilogy, please. I have to say things like that because I'm like super busy and I don't always have time to get to everything, but I'm like, I tell myself, before I die, I will do this. I will play this. I love Reach. It's so gritty. Yeah, it's emotionally charged too. It's really good. Reach is one of those games where I watch the cutscenes every single time. Not every game is like that, but Halo Reach, that's one of them. I'm always really invested in the story and just let it play. Pretty sure games came before the books. Well, certain games did, but not Halo Reach. Well, Halo Reach is based on Halo Fall of Reach, which that one came out right after, like soon after the Halo games came out, and then Halo Reach came out later. So Halo Fall of Reach, the book, follows a lot of like Master Chief's like origin story, and the game itself has almost like nothing to do with Chief, like basically. So yeah, when we're talking about that, we're talking about Fall of Reach versus Halo Reach the game, and Fall of Reach definitely came out before. Is there somewhere here? Oh, I think there is. Is this a... Okay. Can I not? Maybe I can't do this yet. Whatever. Oh, maybe it's up here. Let's get 1, 2. Nope, try it again. Magmore Caverns beat. Dun, dun, dun. Beat, skip. 1, 2. There we go. If you ever need to know how to do bomb jumps in Metroid, you just do it to the beat of the Magmore Caverns drums. That'll get you through every time. You can get the E-Tank. Yeah, I think I'm... Ah! I think I have to, like, bomb right as I go. Like, right at that part, I think I need to use the bomb. Yeah, the Reach book and the Reach game are drastically... I skipped it. Are drastically different and conflict with each other. I heard they republished the book to make it more in line with the games. I mean, we listened to the audiobook fairly recently, so if they did, and I heard what was afterwards, it's still so far different than the games. I mean, you're following the Noble Six or the Noble Team, you know, and in the games, and Chief's not really a part of that at all. Bro. Oh, no. I think I remember what I need to do. You need to bomb up above it and not even move to the left at all. I think that's how that works. My bad, chat. I'm remembering how to do it. What are you playing on? I'm playing on my Nintendo Wii on my Nintendo GameCube disc. I still have my GameCube discs of Metroid Prime 1, Metroid Prime 2, and I have the Wii disc for Metroid Prime 3 as well. There we go. That's how you do it. I know it's a Metroid stream, but I love all the Halo discussion as well. Love the Halo games so much. At least the original trilogy, ODST, and Halo 3. Never played Halo Wars, though. A lot of people have been telling me I need to play that at some point. You should get the Prime hack. Yeah, I'd have to get like a... I hear it's good. I'd have to get the... whatchamacallit. Like, I could play it on PC, right? Like, I'd have to play it on a PC. Oh, I thought it was the Trilogy collection. No. I do have each disc individually because I was playing the Prime games way back on the GameCube. Okay, I don't think I can go this way yet. Maybe I can? Well, I guess I can. Your stream would be so crispy in 4K. Ooh. Sounds fun. Yeah, at this point, we might just have to stick with what we got, but at some point, I'd be down to do it, because I'm sure over the years of playing Metroid games and having this channel, it'd be cool to do it again at some point in 4K versions. It would be nice if they just gave us the remasters, like everyone wants. Ah, powerbomb door. See, this is what I'm expecting for Metroid Prime 4. Is you ride your motorcycle all this way, and you're like, see, it's open world. I can go wherever I want. You go in this cave, and you're like, I don't have a power bomb. Not open world. That's how I envision Metroid Prime 4 going. Now you drive all the way back. Alright, I'm pretty... Ooh, let's do this one. Okay, I can go no further, so this is his testament. Here in this reactor, I go to join my fallen mate, J. Steele, or however you say that, in final rest. Though I will die with honor, a shame falls on my house until the key I seek reaches its destination. May my brothers find my burden, that way... the way to the Sky Temple will be opened at last. So what they do is actually they give you hints because you need like 12 keys to unlock the final level, and it involves a lot of backtracking. So guys like this will let you know what areas you need to backtrack to. So yeah, this is one of them apparently. Let's use this to see where we have and haven't been. Been there. Don't have the super missile. Been everywhere. Ah. Dueling range. Okay. In that case, let's go over there and maybe try to... No, I don't think I can do that one. Yeah, let's just try to get to that side. I think that's where I gotta go. So let's go left. See, imagine a Metroid spin-off by ID Software. Would be fun. I'd buy a remastered Metroid Prime 2. Take my money. Yes. So fast. So fast. Oh, I couldn't wait to see what this game looks like. I definitely think it's gonna happen at some point, because it would have been a very easy thing to get people to play the Nintendo Switch online service if they just gave us Metroid Prime 2 when they dropped the initial batch of GameCube games, but they didn't do that. And to me, like, that would have been so easy to port over. So to me, that was definitely an indication that, okay, we're probably going to get the remaster at some point. Is it going to be in time before Metroid Prime 4. I think at this point it's very, very unlikely. Very unlikely. But I do think it's going to come at some point. It just might come after. Can I not go? Yeah, I don't think unless I have the spider ball. Yeah, I'm pretty positive. Unless I have the spider ball, I can't do all that. What was your first phone, Johnny? It was a track phone. Way back in the day. I think I was like 17 or 18 years old. And it was a track phone, so one of those ones with prepaid minutes. Not even a smartphone. It was like a little flip phone. I think it was kind of around the same time that the Razr came out, maybe a little bit before that. But yeah, and then was kind of a track phone person for a little while, and then probably around like 2010, 2011 was when I got like my first smartphone. Yeah, something like that. Guys are taking a lot of damage. Jeez, I can't get the super missile fast enough. Alright, sorry buddy, you gotta go. Okay, so let's go to the left now. Track phone, never heard of them. It was a, yeah, basically just like a prepaid, like you buy minutes as you go type phone. Yeah. Kind of a cool little alternative to like a basic subscription plan. I don't even know if track phones are still around, to be honest. I think they are. I think Nintendo is just going to release this game on the Nintendo Classics, but that's a thing. If they did, I feel like they would have done that, like, right as they dropped the initial batch. And so, you might be right, but I don't understand why they wouldn't have done that already. Give people time to play Metroid Prime 2 before Metroid Prime 4, you know? Maybe Metroid Prime 2 is a way to get them excited for it, you know? To be like, hey, I like this. I can't wait to play Prime 4. But they didn't do that, so, yeah. Nothing like booking up Halo Combat Evolved as the last Spartan and main character of humanity, and then finding out in the books that you are the last Spartan except all these other Spartans. Yeah, see, that's the thing. A lot of people love the books, but I'm not a... I like the story of the games a heck of a lot more than the books. Was not a huge fan, to be honest. Neither me or my wife was, to be honest. We just weren't into them as much. And I know some people like hate that opinion of mine, but I don't know. It's genuinely how I felt. Like my buddy Rolo was a huge fan of the books. Really, really liked the books. Okay, so like that. Then we're going to go to dueling range. We usually call them prepaid phones, and they are the most cheapest phones in the market. Yeah, it's basically that. Is that the phone that Walter White used in Breaking Bad? Actually, it might have been. Where they just, like, the way of not being tracked is they just snap the phone in half. Like, Saul Goodman certainly had a ton of track phones. I can almost guarantee that Saul Goodman just collected track phones. LOL, I used to work sales, and that's what all the crackheads would buy. Yep. Pretty much. Well, it's a good option if you know, a couple things. One, if you don't have a steady income, that way you can pay as you go, and if you need to kind of slow down and spend less minutes and that sort of thing, you could do that. But it does also mean that, like, you know, a certain month may pass where you don't use many minutes, you don't make many phone calls, you don't send many text messages. All right, you're not really paying anything that month, you know? It was cool in that way, you know, where basically you're in control. And if you go crazy and you've met this new girl and you just want to be texting her nonstop, which, you know, could happen sometimes, well, you're going to be paying more that month because you're just chatting it up. No offense, just memories. No, you're absolutely right. Said, and absolutely none taken. No, you're totally right. Honestly, a good way to save money. Phones are stupid expensive. Yeah, exactly. And if you're content not like just having like YouTube and the internet and all of that all on your phone, yeah, you could have a phone very cheaply with one of those prepaid track phones. But in my family, my brother had a Motorola Teletac. It was a brick. Oh, nice. This should be the last one, I'm pretty sure. I think? Oh, no, it's not. I think I need a different visor. Are you kidding me? I came all this way to be a dead end. Oh, no. Okay, so this Incash, I mean, there's an expansion there, but this is one of the like Sky Temple keys you get much later in the game to get like to the end of the game. Did you meet a girl texting it up happen often, Johnny? No, I'm just saying it happened for me once. There was like I think in my early 20s when I had a track phone. I had a new girlfriend around that time, and yeah, because of that, the track phone was definitely more expensive for a little while because we were texting a lot. But that was just a reality of the situation. Like, if I didn't have a girl in my life, if I didn't have anybody to be talking with, because like bros, yeah, you could talk with them, but like, I could just be like, hey, dude, phone's getting expensive. Like, I got to stop texting, and it's no big deal. Telling a girl that you're interested in, that's not as easy. That's not as easy. You gotta kind of deal a little bit because, you know, maybe a little bit more chatting makes her more interested. You know, you gotta make it work. Missile behind you, yay! Says Angel Knight. Yes, got it. You put up with a little bit extra when you're trying to get with somebody or get noticed by somebody. That's how it works. Okay, so it's probably that red missile door from earlier. Gosh, freaking darn it. Ugh. So what I'd like to do before we quit the stream, because I would like to quit very soon, is I'd like to get that last key and then take on a Morbus, and I think that would be a good stopping point. You also don't want her to think you're broke. Yeah, that's true too. You don't want that either. You want her to wait. You want to wait until you get together, and then she makes you broke. That's what you want. Chicks, bro. I don't feel like that's an indictment on women just to say that they're more expensive. They just are. Like, guys are weird. Guys can be, like, absurdly cheap. Guys could eat nothing but, like, top ramen for a month and have an empty house with just, like, a little, like, you know, CTR TV or whatever you call it. Like a little old-fashioned TV, and be totally content. And is that like a good thing? I don't know. That might not be a good thing. Ramen's kind of bad for you. And having a basic house that looks like you know, are in an insane asylum, I don't know, that's a good thing. But guys can do that. I did that. You can go years without talking to the homies and pick right back up where you left off like nothing happened. Facts. Absolute facts, ID Monster. All right, I think one of these doors has the last temple key I need, I think. I hope. Otherwise, I don't know where I'm going. Who needs a bed frame? I pay for the floor and it holds my stuff for a reason. Exactly. See, that's what I'm talking about. There we go. Sweet. Just guy things, you know? Alright, so we got all the keys now. Let's take on this big fat worm. Or worms, plural. Being content is less admirable when talking about you yourself. It's bad if you go super cheap with your friends and loved ones. I can see that. I don't know. I think there's a time, you know, a good time for being content and saving money and that sort of thing and living a minimal, simple life. But at a certain point, you know, I wanted to work a little bit harder and get a better job and, you know, have a family. Am I okay eating top ramen for a while? Sure. Do I want my daughter to grow up eating top ramen all the time? Absolutely not. So I'm going to get a better job, work my ass off, and provide for her, you know? So she can eat better crap than what daddy ate growing up, you know? That's how I look at it. In my neighborhood, when you can afford the newest phone back in the day, you were a magnet for girls and being popular. Yeah, there was like almost like a status thing back in the day. I could see that. Same thing applies here. Someone who you haven't seen in years could show up right now and stream, and you could just hang out like it was yesterday. Yeah. For sure. All right, good boss fight. Not my favorite from the game, but I definitely enjoy this one. Ah, I missed. Come on, Johnny. Like if Ark showed up right now, we would dunk on him, probably. He was here for a brief second earlier, but I just think that guy's so busy nowadays that, like, when he shows up, it's just, like, very, very briefly. LOL, that's for her baby bell cheese and strawberries. Yeah, exactly. We could just get crap for my daughter to eat, but I don't want to do that, you know? I don't want to just give her Gerber. I want to give her real fruit, you know? She does. She loves her frickin' strawberries. My daughter loves strawberries, and she loves cheese. Holy crap. She turns into a maniac over cheese. The fact that Samus has to willingly turn into a ball so that some big nasty thing like this can ingest her, then she bombs it, is like kind of crazy. Guys, we're up to 65 viewers here. Thank you all for hanging out. I gotta make more Zelda videos, and I gotta make more Metroid videos. I will make more Metroid videos because the majority of my channel right now seems like Metroid fans, but that also tells me I gotta make more Zelda videos because I gotta bring in more Zelda fans to balance out the Metroid fans. I genuinely wonder if I made a mistake making this channel Zelda and Metroid. I think about that a lot. And the longer that I take to make a decision about splitting it could make the situation worse and worse because I don't want to split like viewership and analytics and that sort of thing. But I don't know. So I hope it works out for you guys because I wonder, I'm like, did I make the right decision on this? Should I have just had two different channels, each dedicated to their own thing? Get rid of these pests. Yeah, exactly. Kill these nasty bugs. Am I getting landed on? Okay. Where'd you go? You could rebrand your channel, said Angel Knight. Zeltroid is the rebrand. That's true. I did try to go with a Nintendo angle before, but you could rebrand a reband. That was years ago at this point. Like, I tried a more broad Nintendo channel, but at a certain point I started noticing I mostly like talking about Metroid and Zelda, and people mostly turn up from my Metroid and Zelda videos. Maybe I should just stick to that. And don't be mean, ID Monster. Don't be mean. Yes. Technically, this was the rebrand name, but that doesn't mean you couldn't rebrand again. Metroida says, let's go Echoes, baby! Isn't it such a wonderful game? Favorite boss from this game, Metroida? Would the channel just become Troid? I don't know what I'd name it, to be honest. I assume I think if I started a new channel, like if I split the channels, I would probably start a new Zelda channel and ask my fewer Zelda fans to migrate to the Zelda channel. And then this one would become exclusively Metroid. That's probably how I'd do it. If I did that. Again, I don't know if I can do it or if I need to do it necessarily, because when I'm posting videos consistently over here, which hasn't been happening much lately because I just started memberships on the basketball channel, and obviously with the new baby and everything, life's been kind of swarming, which is why I'm doing the stream, so you guys are at least getting something over here in the meantime. But the videos still do pretty well, so I mean, I don't know. It's probably not a total deal breaker. Just everything I know about about YouTube is that you want like your channel to be as specific with its content as possible. That way the analytics are always working in unison, you know? If I have people that only watch my Zelda videos, well, that means every time I post a Metroid video, they're not clicking on it, which hurts my analytics, which hurts the chances of it being recommended. But, you know, it could be the same thing for, you know, in the inverse. You know, every time I make one about the other and people aren't clicking, it hurts the analytics, which hurts the chance of it getting recommended. So I don't know. I don't know. Angel Knight says, nah, you good. I just wonder how many people that are actually, like, subscribed to this channel genuinely like both. Like, guys in the chat, speak up a little bit for me. Are you a fan of one or the other, or are you a fan of both? Nerdy Neo says, when I was planning on starting my channel, I figured it was going to be an Xbox channel, but I decided to go with gaming in general, and I'm glad I did. Nice. It also depends, too. Like, you could have a pretty, like, broad coverage of, like, gaming and stuff, as long as you're intriguing enough for people to subscribe to you. You know, do they watch the content for you, or do they watch your content for your content? Personally, I feel like people definitely watch my content for the content. Like, they like Metroid and they like Zelda. I'm just, like, here telling them things about it. Same thing with the basketball channel, too. They subscribe to the basketball channel for, like, basketball history, you know? So, definitely a fan of both. Zelda is incredible, but Metroid is my favorite. Nice. Freddy says, more of a fan of Zelda, but to be fair, but I want to be more introduced to the Metroid thing. Yeah, see, and that's one way I could, like, look at it, is maybe through this channel, you know, people who are Zelda fans start to get introduced and maybe start to like Metroid a little bit more, and vice versa, you know? I don't know. So, maybe I need to look at it more from that lens. The thing is, if you just ever have to do a rebrand, it's smart to do it, like, early on. You don't want to wait till you have this big old thing and then realize, I screwed up, and do it later, which is why I'm spending so much time trying to figure it out now before it's, like, too late. Because rebrands, if done too late, can really destroy a business. Gosh dang it, I'm not hitting anything. I like Zelda's world building. The story feels stale, though. Says Angel Knight. Yeah, the stories are hit and miss with Zelda. There's some really great ones, and then there's ones that are just a little bit flat. Even in some of the recent games with Breath of the Wild, and especially Tears of the Kingdom, not really the most intriguing story. Converting the masses of Zelda fans to Metroid, you're doing the Chozo Lord's work. Yeah, see, you know, I don't know. Saying things like that, it makes me feel like All right, it's about something bigger, you know? It's about something more important. If I can look at it that way and have that be part of the vision, I don't know. That does feel inspiring. I gotta lock in. I'm not hitting some of my targets very well. There we go. I'm actually pretty good about hitting my targets if I'm not talking to chat simultaneously. Missed the missile. Wow. Too much Troid, not enough Zell. Unsubscribe, says Mammon. Mammon, how you doing? Fun segment with you earlier on the basketball member stream, dude. I hope you're doing well. Mammon, I mean, I've kind of got the impression you're a Zelda fan, a big Zelda fan, too. That's kind of cool. So it seems like there's a crossover between the two channels a little bit, huh? Metroid says 6 weeks away from Prime 4, y'all. Yes, yes. In all seriousness, though, Mammon, yes, I do feel like I need to increase the amount of Zelda content over here. So I just put out the Zelda movie video, but I definitely want to cover more of the game soon. And just talk about, I don't know, like, yes, stuff that's relevant to what's going on, but I don't know, just some general discussion. Like, I want to make that video about, like, why Twilight Princess Link is peak Link. And just break it down, you know? That sounds fun. Oh, that's right! 9 days away from the Metroid Prime Trilogy art book. Everyone should pick that up, too. Yes! I have mine pre-ordered. Oh, I can't wait for that. Honestly, that's a video right there. I will definitely talk about that when I get it. And just, like, the cool findings, because I am just going to... The instant I get it, I'm probably going to get a nice, cool, refreshing drink and just, like, sit down and just, you know... acknowledge my little daughter every once in a while and just immerse myself in that book and see how much I can dissect and learn from it. I can't wait. Pre-ordered yours too? Nice. Okay, I gotta lock in a little bit. Let's do this. What the heck? Come on, Samus. Make a video about how the Zelda movie affects LeBron's legacy. That's the meme. Very excited about the art book. I love the concept and the lore. Yeah, the art concept and lore. Yeah, for sure. And the lore of the Metroid Prime trilogy is just so good. It's so rich. Retro Studios did such a good job just expanding the universe of Metroid. Yeah, my kids will have to wait for Daddy to finish reading. Facts. I'm so excited for my day off. I just want to spend time with the wife and the little girl. I've been gone streaming and making videos literally all day. I've barely seen him today, and I feel terrible. So I'm very much looking forward to that day off tomorrow. I just can't wait to find out if my daughter's going to like Metroid. Because my wife's not so much about it. She likes Zelda, but she's not really into Metroid. A little too creepy for her. But I can't wait to find out what my daughter's into, you know? Because they're going to develop their own passions and their own likings and stuff. But if she wants to learn more about this universe and enjoy it too, hey, I'm all for it. That'll be fun. That would be so fun. Johnny, when you make that 10 biggest egos in the NBA, can the thumbnail be the Teletubbies, but the son is instead his babyface? It's LeBron. Oh my God. 10 biggest egos? Yeah, I think we talked about that before. 10 biggest egos. Young Kobe, LeBron, Wilt Chamberlain would be in there for sure. Oh my gosh, Wilt Chamberlain would be in there. Allen Iverson would be in there. Thought he was so good he didn't even need to practice. Alright. One of the greatest Metroid suits of all time. Check out the dark suit, baby. Oh, man, I love the look of this thing. This thing's sick. Look at that. That beauty. How on earth are they going to do the Zelda movie? I'm puzzled and intrigued. Yeah, part of me wants to say I can't wait to find out, but also, like, maybe one day I'll wish I never found out. I don't know. I hope it's good. I hope it's good. Would be on there Magic. Would Magic be on there? Magic had an ego, but I don't think he'd be top 10. I don't think so. I'm of the opinion that having an ego is a good. Like you need to know how to be humble, but like every like competitive, confident dude's got to have a little bit of an ego. That's what I tell my wife all the time. I'm like, man, you wouldn't be interested in me if I didn't have a little bit of an ego. Like a little bit of an ego is a good thing. You just want more humility than an ego. But an ego can like drive you, man, to like, you know, build something that you're proud of. It could be cringe. What accent will they have? English, maybe? Probably. I want to say I'm a huge Zelda fan, but I grew up playing the NES, and the OG Zelda was one of my favorite games. Yes, very fun. Played Breath of the Wild when it dropped to, got recently switched to version. Good series, yeah, for sure. Yeah, we played the NES version a lot. Did you ever play Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link, Mammon? My dad loved the original NES Zelda, but when Zelda 2 came out, he did not like it. He was not very happy with it. I think a lot of Zelda fans were not happy with it because it was like, this is Zelda 2? This is not Zelda. This side scroller. Not the accents are cringe. I typed that too fast. Could be cringe. What accent will they have? I don't know what you meant then. I didn't read this comment from you, ID Monster, but I'm seeing it now. I think a major misplay on Nintendo's part with Tears of the Kingdom was going into Ganondorf instead of having this version of Link fight a new threat. Yeah, I also thought it was weird, like, the whole, like, Demon King thing. It seemed like they were just almost trying to retell the origin story that, to me, Skyward Sword already did and did better. I know it didn't sell nearly as many copies, but I was like, seriously? Like, the release of Skyward Sword was 2 mainline games ago. Like, do we need another origin story? I was just, I didn't like it. And I know it's like a totally different timeline. Still, I don't care. This was not what I was envisioning when I thought of a Breath of the Wild sequel, you know? Because they literally set it up that way. A sequel to Breath of the Wild is now in development. Actually, I need to go to the nearest portal. Either one of these will work. I think I played a tad of Zelda 2 on the Wii, but I kind of just stuck with the OG. We had the whole map printed on a bulletin board and everything. Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so I'm probably just going to wrap this up after I return the light energy from Dark Aether to the light world. Again, if you're watching this stream and you still have no idea what's going on in the story, even though I'm reading the logs, which is a decent chance, I did make a video called The Story of Metroid Prime 2 Explained. And it's one of the videos I'm more proud of on this channel. So if you want to learn more about this game and just about the story of the games leading up to the release of Prime 4, I have the story of Metroid Prime 1 and the story of Metroid Prime 2 live on the channel. Metroid Prime 3's video will come out in the next... let's just say before December 4th. It'll definitely be happening. Matrata said, I started playing Zelda on the GameCube Collector's Edition. I know I was late, so I do respect Zelda 2, even though it's frustratingly hard. Yes, it is very, very hard. Never beating the OG 3 Zeldas. Love Link to the Past, though. Yeah, Link to the Past is awesome. You get a little bit of a guide, and it shouldn't be too hard for you. Definitely a lot easier than the other two. Okay, so let's go that way. Zelda 1 is amazing. Easily my favorite NES game ever. Yeah, there was a lot of NES games I liked. Obviously, Zelda. Metroid I also really liked. It's funny, most people have nostalgia for Super Metroid, but I didn't own Super Metroid right when it came out. We rented it for like a week and played a bunch of it. But the one I grew up on mostly was Metroid for the NES. And so that's the one I actually have the most nostalgia towards. Oh, gosh dang it. Alright, you guys are going to die now. Piss me off. Battletoads was absolutely amazing for the NES. Very, very hard, but I did love that game so much. Played that one a ton as a kid. So much. There were other games I loved other than the two series that I talk about all the time on these channels. Because, like, yeah, my favorite game for the NES might have been Battletoads. And my favorite game on, like, the 64 was probably Star Fox 64. God, I love Star Fox 64. If they kept making Star Fox games, there's another series I would have loved to make videos on and talk about and that sort of thing. But they don't make that many. And even when they have made them, they're a little all over the place stylistically. Battletoads. Excitebike. Yes, Excitebike. Mario 3 all slapped for the NES. Agreed. OG Metroid is painful to play. Are you familiar with Metroid Mother? I've heard of it. Is it like a mod based on the NES? It's so funny that people say that. Oh, Metroid NES is a pain to play. And, like, I get it kind of. But, like, it's so hard for me to see it that way because, again, that was the first one I played, man. And so, in my rose-tinted glasses, there's nothing wrong with it. Like, I like it. Star Fox is so perfect, they refuse to do it ever again. Yeah, basically. You got a bogey on your tail. Use the brakes. Help me, Fox. Hey, Einstein, I'm on your side. Like, the dialogue is so ridiculously memorable in that game. At some point, I will stream Star Fox Adventures on this game, just because it is basically a Zelda game with a Star Fox skin. So, might as well play it on the Zelda channel at some point. Metroid Mother is a ROM hack for NES Troid with a bunch of quality of life improvements. Yeah, that's what I figured, so. The hidden MJ Easter egg in the recent Metroid video wasn't sly, Johnny. What did I do in that one? I'm trying to... Every once in a while I'll do that. Where I'll put a little reference to this channel in my basketball videos, and maybe some people will notice. Star Fox 64, better than Assault. Yeah, for sure. Star Fox 64 is 100% the greatest Star Fox game of all time. For sure. I think I prefer Adventures over Assault, but all three are good. I think I prefer Adventures over Assault as well. I like them both, but unless it's Star Fox 64 good, I'm always probably gonna lean towards like the Zelda style. And Star Fox Adventures definitely felt like a Zelda game. That's why I liked it so much. That's why a lot of people didn't like it. A lot of Star Fox fans are traditional like arcade shooters, you know, arcade shoot 'em up type games. That's their genre. For me, it was like, okay, I like Star Fox 64, but I do really, really like, you know, Zelda games. So it was like merging two of my favorite things. So I didn't really have a huge problem with it. Star Fox Assault did give us one of the greatest rival themes of all time, though, with the Wolf theme. Yeah, Wolf's super cool. There was a lot to that game, too, with, you know, the multiplayer, the on-foot combat, the R-Wings, and I don't know, there's a lot of cool stuff to that game. Love me some Star Wolf. Yeah, for sure. One of the main things that makes 64 better than Assault is all the different possible routes you can take. Yes, for sure. 100% agreed. And I will do that again at some point, because, like, I'm really, really good at Star Fox 64. When I say good, I mean, like, really good. I might be better at that game than any other game ever. Like the high scores I can put up, they're not quite like pro player high scores, but they're just a shade off. And I remember when I was streaming, last time I was streaming, one person kind of crashed the chat that was like, hey, like, we have this like community of players that are involved, and like there's some pro players and your scores are actually pretty good. You're not far off. And like that was really cool to hear. But I've looked up some of the best scores online, and so like I can score like 600 on area 6. It's pretty normal for me to finish an entire playthrough with over 2,000 hits. I think I've got as high as like almost 2,200 hits. The best I've seen are like 25, 2,600 online. I don't know. Since the last time I saw it, it definitely might, like, it could be more. Let me put it that way. It could be more. But yeah, I played that game so much. And I basically do the same route over and over again unless I'm trying to get all the medals for some reason. But yeah, I should definitely stream that game again sometime soon. The main menu theme music, or even the training mode music, is like nostalgically tied to my emotions now. Right? Right? Like, why is that? Why? Like, seriously, Metroida, like, why is that? Like, it like hits me in my soul when I turn on that game. Like, I don't know what it is. I'll just leave it on the main menu and let it play for like 10 minutes before I start my playthrough, because it just puts me in such a happy place, man. It's crazy. Yeah, something about that game, man. I remember playing with my buddy Matthew, if you're out there, way back in the day, 30 years ago, Matthew, when we were first playing the 64 together. Wasn't that good times? Not quite 30, almost 30, because even the 64 is not technically 30 years old at this point, but it's close. It was a long time ago. And I just remember Matthew owned a Nintendo 64, but I did not. But every time I went to his house, I'd like beg to go to his house just so I could play it more. All right, so we went ahead and saved. This has been fun, guys. You guys have been wonderful in chat. Thank you for hanging out so long. I've absolutely enjoyed the conversations. I'm sorry I didn't talk about like Metroid as much. This felt like a more like gaming centered discussion, but I really, really enjoyed it. The train level is peak. Zonus is peak. The UFO level with Bill is peak. Yeah, I always do that one. The entire game is just peak. It's a wonderful, wonderful game. And so, yeah, definitely at some point I'll stream Star Fox 64 and Star Fox Adventures on this channel. But guys, thank you for joining for this stream. I'm definitely going to try to get more to regular videos here pretty soon. And so stay tuned for that. As far as the stream, stay tuned for Thursday. I'm going to... Where am I at? I did the Forest Temple, then the Water Temple, then the Fire Temple. So I guess I'm on the Shadow Temple for my Ocarina of Time playthrough. So, yeah, that'll be next. And, of course, find me here, same time next week. Sunday night, we'll be continuing to go through Metroid Prime 2 Echoes. I might have to pick up the pace if I'm going to make it in time. If I'm going to get through all 3 Prime games before Prime 4 drops. We might have to pick up the pace. So either longer streams or stream a little more often. Either way, we'll get it done and we'll figure it out. But guys, thank you so much for hanging out again. You all have a wonderful night. And stay tuned for more videos. And I will see you guys soon. Bye, y'all. I'm going to give it more time so that I don't cut off my stream this time. Cut myself off in the middle of saying something. That's probably long enough.